Okay, well, welcome to Curtin Dairy. We are a dairy farm in Bridgewater, New York, and this is our milking center. This is a 60-stall rotary parlor.
And how many times a day do you milk cows?
We milk each cow 3 times a day. This parlor can hold 60 cows at a time, and we can do about 380 cows an hour through here. So we do about 2,700 cows 3 times a day.
And how many gallons of milk does each cow produce on average?
Well, we do it by pounds, so we do, our herd averages between 93 and 97 pounds per cow. So they're pretty high production herd. So on this parlor, you can see over on the far side, there's a black board hanging down. That's actually an RFID reader, and there's a white pin in each cow's ear. And the RFID reads the pin in each cow's ear and keeps an electronic record for each one as they pass that board. So it keeps track of how many pounds per milking they milk and how many days of milk they're in. And also it gives the employees that are attaching the units on the far side the chance to type in a code if they see a cow that has a problem. And as she leaves the return alley on the right-hand side of the opening, an electronic gate will open up and bring them into a separate pen where they can get treatment. So we've moved from the observation room to right on the floor of the parlor. So at this point the cow has been on the table for about 5 minutes, and most of their milk is let down at this point. So as the milk flow decreases, the unit, which is the 4 blue claws as they're called, it detects the amount, the flow of milk drops down below a certain amount of gallons per second, and the air releases and the unit automatically detaches. So as the cows make their way around to the far side, they get dipped with a iodine solution to seal them back up so they don't get any bacteria or infections when they get back out into the barn. So for the most part, they really enjoy the ride, and they're pretty relaxed when they're on the table.
Where are we standing right now, Dave?
This is the milk house, as it's been called forever. This is where all the milk from the parlor from each cow gets piped into these tanks. This is only the front end of the tanks. You see the other half, or the other 3/4 go through the wall. Each of these tanks holds 7,000 gallons. So we ship about 35,000 to 40,000 gallons a day out of here. So we're filling these tanks pretty quick.
All right, so where are we standing now?
We are in one of the freestyle barns. So this barn here holds about 1,000 animals total. It's broken into 4 groups. So you have a group to your right and left, and then the same down on the far end. So these cows stay in these groups based off their stage in lactation, and they stay with the same cows for pretty much the whole time they're in the group. So the closer they get to calving, and based on their age, they get fed a different diet. So this, what you see in the feed alley here, was just freshly given to them this morning, a few hours ago. This is called a total mixed ration. So in this mix, you try to make everything the same particle length so they don't sort it out, kind of like sorting the good stuff out of your dinner. So they want it to be all the same. So in here we have a mixture of hay from the fields, we have a mixture of corn silage, and then we also have different grains that are mixed in here just to make sure that they get the right amount of energy in every bite. So every bite they take, they get everything they need to keep them healthy and help them produce the most milk they can. Another cool thing in this barn, might not be able to see it, but they all lay down. They can all lay down whenever they want to, and they can all get up and eat whenever they want. They have free range of their pen. They have water troughs to drink throughout the pen. In the summer we run the fans. The sidewall curtains open up to let more air in the summer when it's colder out, or when it's warmer out. Today it's cold, so they're shut down quite a bit to keep the wind off the animals. But for the most part, cows like this temperature right here, about 25 to 30 degrees. If you can keep the wind off them, cows are the happiest because they're big animals, so they get hot. is where the babies come when they're about 3 days old, and they stay until they're about 6 months old in these barns. They stay with the same group, about 30 calves per pen. So the cool thing about this barn is they have free range to run, and in the center where the white building is, they can go in and there's automatic feeders. So every time the calf walks in, it reads the same RFID chip in their ear that the big cows have, and it mixes up a batch of milk just for that calf. So each calf can drink every 2 hours. They're eligible for 2 liters of milk. Okay, we are in the small milk house for the baby calves. This is the room where the 2 automatic calf feeders mix up batches of milk for each calf. So you can see this machine to our right just mixed up a batch for the calves to our right, and it's basically a blender. It drops some dry milk powder and mixes it with hot water, and then it sends it out the tube to the calf. If you can see to your left, there's a machine spinning around. That's like basically a 4-way splitter, so one machine can feed 4 calves at once. And then the little black meters on the wall, that's what regulates how much each calf gets out of the 4-way splitter. So it's pretty neat. You can do 4 nipples off of one machine, and then the computer on each machine here keeps track of what each calf is doing, and it'll tell you, it lists all the calves, and then it lists what percent out of 100 that they've drank. So it's all tied back into the main computer at the office. We moved down to the big freestyle barn. This is the barn that the calves come into when they leave the small barns, the small milk barns. So they graduate their way through this barn all the way to the end. They stay in the same group they were in here for a couple weeks, and as they get bigger, they keep moving down, and the new ones take their place. So you can see it, the feed changes. Right here they're on a mixture of corn, a little bit of hay, and grain. And as they move down to the end, they get into the total mixed ration like they'll be for the rest of their lives. Over here on the right, pretty cool tool that we use called the bale boss. It's a chopper. It can chop up a bale of straw and load into the stalls, keep the calves warm for the cold weather coming up.
So what can we see when we're standing here?
Well, this is we call it the flat, so this is a big valley that we do the main part of our farming in, but across the way is our biggest field. It's a 200-acre field. We raised corn on it this year for chopping. The main dairy complex is right across the way. The buildings that we were in, you can see a milk truck backed up to the milk house now, so the load of milk is heading out. Feed truck just drove by. That's the truck that delivers feed to the inside of all the barns.
Okay.
All right, we've moved on to our equipment shop where we take care of all of our tractors and equipment. This barn has got a little bit of everything. So over here is our spare feed truck. So that's the truck that brings the feed into the barns. Here's a big tractor that we use for various things, but it has a blade on it right now so we can clear our driveways with snow. But we use these tractors to push up the feed in our piles and to do tillage work with. Behind Sara is one of our 2 forage harvesters. This one's called the chopper. So you can put 2 different kind of attachments on the front of these. You can put a hay head on when you're chopping hay and haylage. You can put a 8-row corn head on when you're chopping corn. And these machines are amazing. They can handle 8 rows of 15 feet tall corn. It all comes through the center, through the throat, and it blows it out this pipe. And this pipe will rotate to the side and fill a truck just like this one that's right here. And the trucks drive alongside the choppers, fills up the trucks dump it in a pile. Tractors like this one behind us push it up into the pile and pack it down.